Hey Stone Squads, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about domain and range. This is something that a lot of kids struggle with. They just can't visually grasp it, so my goal today is to help you with that. So what is domain and range? So domain represents your x values. In other words, you want to ask yourself how far left and how far right does your function go? So look at your graph. If you're looking at it graphically, start seeing where it's going. Where is it stopping? Is there asymptotes? Is there a break? Is there a hole? All those things are important. Your range to represent your y values. So how far up, or else down and up. We won't put it in order. So how far down do you go? How far up does your graph go? So always ask yourself that question. Our goal is to figure out where are the breaks. So we'll talk about domain restrictions. That just means that where does your graph break? You know, that's usually an asymptote or a hole. So a lot of functions have domain restrictions. Rational functions, radical functions. It stops at a certain spot to the left side. It doesn't go further depending on what kind of function, what kind of transformation it is. So today, I want to look at domain and range by looking at graphically and looking at it through points. So if I give you like 1, 5, 2, 7, -3, 4, and ask you, what is my domain and what is my range? Well, these guys are specifically points. They're discrete, they're not continuous. So in other words, continuous means just how it sounds, continuous. It's just going to connect. Here, if you graph this, you have a point there, there, and then like here, right? So only 3 points exist on this graph. So when I talk about my domain, we're looking at our x values. So where are my x values? Put them in order. You have one at -3, you have one at 1, and you have one at 2. What's my range? How far down, how far up? What's my lowest one here is going to be what? 4. My next one's where? 5, and the last one's 7. So this is your domain, this is your range. Domain and range is important because it's important to understand, because when we start using graphing calculators, your window, sometimes you have to adjust the domain and range, your window setting, to have an x min, x max, and a y min and y max. So understanding what's happening with your domain and your range is very crucial when you're trying to figure out, trying to look for a specific spot on a graph. What happens if I look, try to find domain and range of a graph? So let's talk about this graph. What kind of function is this? Anyone remember? Quadratic. All right, it's a parabola. All right. So let's talk about domain and range. Right, you want to know your domain and range just by looking at the graph. So every function is going to have a different domain and range. So let's talk about quadratics. So quadratics, I'm talking about how far left, how far right. So if I trace it, how far left is this going? It's going forever left, so negative infinity. How far right is this graph going? It's going to positive infinity. So if it goes all reals, we can just write it as that, all real numbers. Even though the arrow is going up, it's technically going left up, and this graph's going right up. So it's technically going all the way left and all the way right. But is my range the same? Does it go all the way down and all the way up? Well, let's take a look. How far down does this graph go? Does it go all the way down to infinity? No, the arrows are going up, right? It actually stops. It stops there. Where is that? Well, that's 0. Be careful, because a lot of kids tend to use the x values for range, but always remember, your range represents your y values. How far up does this graph go? Well, both these guys go up to infinity, so we go to positive infinity. You can write it like this. A lot of teachers will write it as y is greater than or equal to 0. Other teachers will go, it goes 0 less than equal to y, which is less than infinity. To try to really understand what your teacher wants, how they want it. The reason why it's less than infinity, not equal to infinity, because we can never get to infinity. So for example, if I tell you to go run to infinity, right? Where is that? Right? We can never get there. So it's because we can't get there, we can't say it's equal to. Let's try another example. Let's do a segment. So I have a point there, and I connect this. So let's say 0, 1, and then 2, 0. All these two functions that we talked about graphically were continuous. The first one was discrete because that's specifically point. So how far left, how far right does this graph go? That's my domain. How far left does this graph go? How far right does this graph go? Well, left is your x values. Well, how far left does it go? It stops here. Where is that? It stops at 0. How far right does it go? It goes to 2, but does it touch 2? No, because it's an open dot. So then we do that. So closed bracket means equal to. Open bracket means not equal to. So for example, this is pretty much stating x is greater than 0, but it's less than 2. It's not equal to 2. So a lot of teachers use this notation as well. So closed bracket and open bracket. So range, how far down, how far up? How far down is this graph going? It's going to 0. Remember, it's my y values. But do we hit 0? No, because it's an open dot. So we do an open 0. How far up? It goes to +1, but we actually get to 1 because it's a closed dot. So we do a open bracket here and a closed bracket there. And essentially, this just means y is greater than 0, but less than or equal to 1. You can actually hit 1. So that concludes our lesson with domain and range. We're going to do 3 examples. Let's get ready for those. Good job. All right, your beginner problem. If I give you a couple points. I want you to give me the domain, and give me the range. First thing, your hint, is it discrete or is it continuous? And then the domain means what? How far left, how far right? My range means what? How far down, how far up? About 30 seconds. Try your best. If you get it wrong, it's all good. We'll go fix it on our next problem. Take about 30 seconds to a minute, go. So what is my domain? Well, left to right, my x value. So here is my domain. Put it in order. So -1, 0, 4. My range, my y values. I'll put it in order. So you want to do -3, 1, 7. So check to see if you got the right answer. If you got a little bit incorrectly, it's okay. There shouldn't be any less thans or greater thans or open brackets or closed brackets because it is not a continuous function. Okay? Your intermediate problem. It's an x-cubed graph. You can also look at it as a tangent graph depending on how you look at it, but we're going to say it's x-cubed. Find me the domain, find me the range, try your best. It's a little different than a quadratic, but follow the arrows, how far left, how far right, how far down, how far up. Go. All right, how far left does this graph go? Let's trace it. Where does it go? All the way left, right? How far right does this graph go? It goes all the way right. So we can say it's all reals. Remember, we used open brackets because we could never get to negative infinity, we could never get to positive infinity. My range, how far down, how far up? How far down is the graph going? Same thing, it goes to negative infinity. How far up does the graph go? It goes to positive infinity. So here it can say all reals as well. Alright, so follow the arrows, that's going to help you versus a segment where it stops. A lot of times you will have negative and positive infinities. Your advanced problem, your last one. This is 2, -4, and this is -2, 3. I'm going to connect it. Okay? Find me my domain, find me my range. Try to use different, if you finish quickly, try to use different notation. Do brackets, do inequalities. Just try your best. You're at 30 seconds to a minute, go. All right, how far left does the graph go? How far right does the graph go? The first thing we need to notice is there are no arrows, so it's going to stop somewhere. So how far left? Remember, domain is x values, so just, your hint is just always look at your x values. So how far left do you go? You go to -2. Do we hit -2? No, it's an open dot. How far right? +2, close bracket, because we're going to hit 2. So we're technically, our answer should be here to here. My range, how far down, how far up? How far down does this go? Here, remember range is my y value. It gets to -4. How far up does it go? It goes to +3, but we never get there. It's not including it. So my range is going to be from here to here. So you can see like the window where this image should be at. This is going to help you when I talked about graphing calculators. Check your answers, check your notations. So always remember domain, D comes before R, range, so X comes before Y. That's probably the easiest way to memorize it. If you get confused with like, is domain my X's or my Y's? Well, D comes before R in the alphabet, so X comes before Y in the alphabet. So that concludes our lesson with domain and range. Hopefully this video helped you. It's very important that you understand domain and range. It comes out in all your math courses. Please subscribe to my channel. Please turn on notifications. Let's get ready for some fun math videos.